Continuation of some questions and practical answers from the viewpoint of wisdom. Questions number 5 through 11. Question number 5. Why should I invoke Brahman when I do my daily Pitrutarpanam? Why not invoke other gods or goddesses? Or you might have a question like, I'm not even a Hindu. Can I invoke the god that I follow in my religion? Simple answer that applies to anybody and everybody. Do you know what happens to your pitrus after they are dead? When a person leaves this body and goes away, do you know where they go? Now, if you're a Hindu, they might say that your pitrus reside in a world called Pitraloka, and depending on their karma, they might go to either the Swarga, that is heaven, or Naraka, which is hell. Do you know where they are? Do you know where they go to? Do you know if they are still in Pitraloka, or do you know if their karmic baggage is such that after spending certain amount of time in Pitraloka, they get a promotion and they go to Swarga or heaven, or they get a demotion and when God or the divine says, well, you have too much of karmic baggage, you've done too much of bad karma, you have to go to Naraga or hell. You don't know. You assume that your religion tells you a certain things and you assume that that is true. Okay, whatever your religion is, however old your religion is your religion as old as time? Because if your religion just came into being, say, 2000, 5000 or even 10,000 years ago, what happened to those people who died before then? Because your pitrus go back all the way to like 1 lakh year ago or even further. So what happens to all those ancestors of yours before your new religion that is just 10,000 years ago was born? What happened to your pitrus then? If you know the answer to this question, then go ahead and invoke whichever god or goddess you want who has been around since that long period of time. But generally speaking, practically speaking, logically speaking, whichever energy, whichever power has been around in existence even before this earth was born, that timeless power, that formless Shakti, it is recommended for your own sake that you invoke that being to witness your daily tarpanam. Because no matter which world your pitrus reside in, no matter how much time has passed, that formless Shakti has been around, has been a witness, has been aware of all the beings that have been born and that have passed away. So, logically speaking, that is the reason why I ask you to invoke Brahman as your witness when you do your daily tarpanam. Also, the other god or goddess who you might invoke, do you know if they have jurisdiction to cover the entire cosmos? Now, Hindus, you know that there are certain gods who have a certain responsibilities or certain areas over which they preside. For example, Yamadharmaraja, Yama, the god of death, he looks after or he is in charge of the Yamaloka. Vishnu resides in Vaikunta and takes care of the people there. Shiva in Kailasa and so on and so forth. But if there is one entity which has jurisdiction over everybody, no matter which world, no matter which period of time, no matter where in the cosmos, then that entity is that formless Shakti, that power that has been in existence since time immemorial. This is the reason, another reason why I ask you to invoke Brahman as your witness when you do your tarpanams. Question number 6. Do the word pitrus and ancestors mean the same thing? Are they referring to the same thing? Answer. Hinduism has a very specific word called pitrus, and Hinduism is very clear on the definition of pitrus as well. Who are your pitrus? Those deceased ancestors from whom you get your genetic material from. That is, your biological parents, who in turn get their genetic material from their biological parents, and so on and so forth. The English language as far as I know, doesn't yet have a word for this category of people. Now, some people might think, well, ancestors also refer to the same thing. Well, this toddler called science, it is still developing, it's still learning, it's still trying to understand what has already been clearly explained, documented, and proved ages ago. In the English language, as far as genetics is concerned, ancestors include both your biological father and your biological father's siblings. So, your uncles, your aunts, your biological grandparents' siblings, your great grandparents, their siblings, all of these people fall under the category of ancestors, which means you're related to them, correct? But Hinduism is very clear. Even though you might share some genetic material with them, they are not your pitrus. Who are your pitrus? Your biological parents, who in turn get their genetic material from their biological parents. Hinduism has a clear definition for this category of people. Since a majority of people don't know the difference between ancestors and pitrus, since they use these two words interchangeably, I too, in my earlier videos, I have used these two words interchangeably. But I am very clear and I very clearly told you who your pitrus are. You can offer tarpanam to your uncles and aunts and cousins as well, but all of them fall under the second category of tarpanam, the Karunya Tarpanam category. I'll cover that in a different video. Question number 7. I'm a Dwija. Can I do daily tarpanams as taught by you? Simple answer, yes. But if you're really a Dwija, you should have already done these tarpanams, these 4 categories of tarpanams before you entered spirituality. But in case you haven't, it's okay. You can still do these tarpanams. And for people who don't understand what that word means, Dwija, it means a person who is reborn, a person who has chosen to leave behind the materialistic way of life and has entered spirituality in pursuit of wisdom. Question number 8. Why should siddhis be respectfully ignored? Answer. As you continue to do your daily tarpanam, if you are a sincere student, you will begin to see some minor siddhis begin to manifest. As you go from the basic level to the intermediate level to the advanced level of tarpanam, and afterwards even the other categories of tarpanam, if you are sincere and if you have earned the blessings of all these categories of people, then yes, minor siddhis will begin to manifest, and wise ones have warned that you have to respectfully ignore these if you want to continue your journey towards self-realization. Why? If you are diverted by siddhis, there is a chance that your individual ego might rise again. Say, for example, you've been given the healing power and you begin to heal people and people come and flock to you, and your ego might begin to rise saying, I'm a good healer, here I am healing people, and etc. etc. And this is again, you're just falling back into the individual ego gaining prominence. So the right way to handle siddhi is thank Brahman for the blessing, because obviously you've been given that siddhi because the divine found you to be worthy of it. Say, thank you Brahman for the siddhi, but I'm after self-realization. I want that ultimate knowledge, that knowledge of the self. Please guide me so that I can be free from samsara. That should be your goal and that should be your final destination. Knowing this is one thing, but practically living this, that takes real wisdom and real courage. Question number 9. Am I an aghori to teach about the aghora tradition? Answer. Of course not. What makes you think an aghori can teach about aghora? There's a level that is even superior, even far more higher to reach than the level of an aghori. What could be such a level? Answer. An avaduta. I am an avaduta. Question number 10. I'm not a human. What about me? Can I do these daily tarpanams that you are teaching? Answer. Of course, yes. Where in these videos did I say that all these tarpanams can be done only by human beings? Hinduism has publicly acknowledged and documented the existence of different species. Now, take these two popular epics of Hindus, Ramayana and Mahabharata. In the Ramayana, some of the very popular characters, for example, Hanuman. He's a monkey, isn't it? Jadayu, bird, a vulture. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, Rakshasas. Jambavan, bear. Again in Mahabharata, Hidimbi, Rakshasi. The son born to Hidimbi and the Pandava prince Bhima, Gatotkacha. Ulupi, snake. Again, there is a rishi. At the moment I don't remember the name, but the rishi who cursed the Pandu king. He was a deer. So, in these epics, in Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other epics, Hinduism has publicly acknowledged and documented the existence of various species. If, say, 100, 200, or 300 generations ago, if your grandfather or grandmother has been a part of these people, then your lineage will be different. Your pitrus will be different. This is another reason why the number one step of spirituality is earn the blessings of your ancestors. Earn the blessings of your pitrus. So to answer your question, yes, no, it's okay if you're not a human being. You too can and should do daily tarpanam. So go ahead and do it. Question number 11. Why do I say dakshina and not guru dakshina? Answer. In this avatar, I am born as a normal human being with a normal human mortal body. In this reincarnation, I look a certain way. This mortal body looks a certain way. In my previous incarnation, the mortal body would have looked a different way. My point is for people to not pay emphasis on this mortal body. After self-realization, after attaining Atmanyana, I am aware and I realize and I know that the speaker here is Shakti. This mortal body, after the prarabdha karma is over, it is going to perish. I acknowledge that fact. And I want to emphasize that people don't pay attention, don't give importance to this mortal body. I'm not saying don't be respectful of the body. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't give importance to this mortal body. The only entity worthy of the title of Guru is that formless Shakti. When you do your daily tarpanams, your daily Pitru tarpanam, and again the other three categories of people, when you do and offer tarpanam to all these people, it is that formless Shakti that takes your offerings to all those people, and if you're sincere enough, the blessings from all those people, again it comes to you. All these works are done by that formless Shakti, and that formless being alone deserves recognition, honor, and thanks for the results that you will achieve. So I wish to emphasize this very strictly and very strongly. That is the reason I say dakshina. Guru, that word, the only person, the only being who is worthy and who has earned that title is that formless Shakti. So if you want to donate some money as dakshina, I'll accept it. And perhaps in the next video, I will tell you where to send dakshina. Homework. In the description box below, I have given a link to a YouTube video where this toddler called Science explains the size comparison between planet Earth and other planets. And maybe when you look at this video and as you travel through time, maybe you will understand that the previous 1 lakh generation of Pitrus that I asked you to do Tarpanam for, maybe you will understand how really small of a time period that is.